Hey guys, this is Savy, and today I'm going to show you guys some cool new books. Alright, so if you've been following my blog or following my Twitter or following me in any way, shape, or form, you've probably heard that I have a new book series coming out in August, on August 11th actually, and it's called the Furever Home Friends. So if you've been following that on my blog or on my Twitter or anywhere at all, you probably know that I recently got this funded through Kickstarter. This past May, I actually earned about $7,000 on Kickstarter to make this new kids book series happen. So if you haven't been following me, I'll give you a little bit of background right now. So the Furever Home Friends is a series of books all about different dogs and their real life stories. So the dogs all come from shelters. Each book is focused on a different dog from a shelter and his or her journey to adoption. And each book kind of covers, what that dog went through before coming to the shelter, what that dog's life was like after being adopted, that type of thing. At least in the first two books. Some of the books we do in the future to add to the series, maybe we'll have some dogs who haven't been adopted yet or who are still living in the shelter. The goal is to add to the series as we go on, but with our Kickstarter funds, we got enough to fund the first two books in the series, including illustration, book printing, ISBN numbers, all of that great stuff that we need to make books happen. So I wanted to show you guys what it looked like when we got our first two book proofs. So if you order this book on Amazon, or if you buy it in a store, or if you got a copy because you backed our Kickstarter, you will see like a cool, professional, finalized version of the book. But as we go through the publishing process, we always get a version of a book first called the proof, which we have to approve, we have to examine, we have to make sure there are no mistakes in it. And of course, when you get the first proof of your book, you always have mistakes in it. So I wanted to show you guys what the very first version of our book looks like printed. This is actually the paperback version, not the hardcover version. So I'm showing you guys the paperback version, which will be available on August 11th for you guys to buy on Amazon if you're interested in that. So first we have, our first book is called Princess Allie. So this is Princess Allie right here. If you guys are buying the book, you may notice that there's a few changes that I've made since the original. But this book has a totally gray background. When I looked at it on the computer, I thought, this background looks pretty good. She really pops in the middle there. But when I got it in print, I noticed the gray background's a little bit flat, a little bit boring. Maybe I could do something to make it more interesting. So if you notice on the back, we have an awesome paw print pattern here. And what I did was I went into my image editing software and I extended that paw print background all the way around here. So that made the cover look a lot more interesting and a lot more fun. But this was the original proof. You can also see there's a little bit of a mistake right here. The paw print image from the back kind of wraps around the front because I kind of overestimated how wide the spine would be. These are picture books for children, so they're pretty short. But I had I had a cover template I used for the hardcover version and the paperback version. The hardcover version obviously has a wider spine because it takes more room to bind a hardcover book in that way. So since I used the same template, I didn't realize there's going to be a smaller spine, so the way it wraps around, that ended up being a mistake. So that was one thing I had to fix, and I actually fixed it just by wrapping the paw print pattern all around, so that was a pretty easy fix for me. So this was the original cover of Princess Allie. She's so cute. She's a little black lab. If you don't know Princess Allie's story, basically she's a black lab named Allie. She lives at a shelter, and when she gets adopted, she has to learn to get along with two new brothers who are the other dogs already living in her owner's house. So that's kind of her story. Obviously, these stories are slightly fictionalized because they are told from the dogs' perspectives, and we can't read dogs' minds in real life as much as we wish we could. So Allie, in the story, she wants to be a princess. When she lives at the shelter, she hears all kinds of stories from shelter volunteers about princesses and their awesome adventures and all the cool things they get to do, and she thinks, I'd really like to be a princess. Maybe when I get adopted, I will get to live that cool royal kind of life. But when she gets adopted, she learns that she actually has to get along with two other dogs already living there, deal with growing up with two dog brothers rather than getting an entire house and a castle to herself and all of that. So it's kind of about learning to appreciate what we have, learning to appreciate our family over our material possessions. that type of thing. So this is Princess Allie. Let's see, I'm not going to reveal all the pictures in the book because that's a surprise for when you read the whole thing. But each book has in it, oh, this was another mistake right here. For some reason, this sketch, when I exported it from Microsoft Word to the PDF that I uploaded to get it printed, for some reason, it inverted this picture, so you can't see it at all because it's supposed to be like a black sketch on a white background, but they made it just like a big black square. I don't know why, but I fixed it. So if you end up getting this book, you'll see a really cute little sketch right here, not this weird black block. But these are like the unexpected things that you never know are going to happen, which is why it's super important to see your book proof in person before you put your book on the market to sell. So each book has these discussion questions in the back. The discussion questions are meant for like parents to discuss with their kids or teachers to discuss with their students, or you can discuss them with your dog if you want. I discuss things with my dog all the time because he's very smart and he thinks about a lot of things. So, but basically they're like discussion questions about the themes in the book, the lessons we can learn, things like that, like what Allie learns about valuing her family over valuing the material things in her life, like having a crown and a throne and things like that. Let's see, I should show you guys a picture because these illustrations are so cute. This was illustrated by a girl named Brenda Clemente. She's a super talented illustrator. She's currently studying at the Rhode Island School of Design, and I was very fortunate to work with her. She's wonderful. I'll show this one actually. This one we've actually been using on a lot of our promotional materials because it's so cute. But look at that. That is Allie's big brother, Buddy. He's whispering in her ear. This is like a really crucial moment when the two of them come together as dog siblings. So that's one of my favorite pictures that she drew for this. So that is our first book. We have a second one. So this is our second book. It is called Smile, Chewy, and it's all about this little guy named Chewy right here. This was another mistake that I made on the cover that I had to fix based on doing a paperback versus hardcover version, again, because I overestimated the spine width. The title ended up a little bit off-center, so I moved it a little bit this direction, this way, on the final version, so that'll look a little bit different and a little bit more centered. So Chewy's story is about, Chewy's a little pit bull mix, and his life before coming to the shelter wasn't so great. He experienced some abuse, he experienced some violence. In real life, Chewy actually has about 9 or so pellets embedded under his fur from, we think, a BB gun when he was shot at some point. But obviously we don't portray that directly in the book because these books are for kids. We don't want to scare anybody, but we also do want to show the realities that some animals do experience abuse and some animals have really tough things to overcome before they find a loving home. So this book is all about Chewy learning to smile for the camera. At first he's very nervous and very self-conscious because he has scars on his face and he is self-conscious and nervous about the abuse that he suffered in the past. But Chewy learns to overcome that, to have confidence in himself, and to smile for the camera and take awesome pictures. So let's find a cute picture of Chewy in here and I'll show that to you guys. Let's see. Oh, I love this one. So this is right after Chewy gets taken to the shelter and he feels very self-conscious about his appearance and he's kind of looking at his reflection in the water and thinking about whether or not he'd look good in a picture. So that's like a really important reflective moment. Again, this is an example of something that's fictionalized because Chewy has never in his life recognized his own reflection. When he looks in a mirror, he thinks it's another dog and starts barking at it. But in this book, he recognizes his own reflection and contemplates the meaning of his life and all of that. The dogs are very philosophical in these books. It's very fascinating. So yeah, this book also has some discussion questions in the back all about, and this picture came out right. So I don't know why the other one came out wrong the first time, but they both are right in the final version. But we have some questions here about body image, about being self-conscious about the way you look, and for parents and kids to discuss what are some ways to overcome those feelings, what are some ways to find more confidence in ourselves, and how can having self-confidence help us achieve our goals in life. Things like that. Some great questions to start some great discussions. And then in the back of both books we have a long acknowledgements page where we thank everybody who contributed to our Kickstarter campaign to make these books happen. So these books are going to be available in both hardcover and paperback on August 11th. Paperback versions will be available to buy through Amazon. Once the books are released, I will put that link in the description to buy them on Amazon. The books also, they're going to be sold in a couple stores. I don't have a finalized list of stores yet because we're still kind of talking to stores and pitching them and deciding where they're going to be sold and how many they're going to stock and all of that. So I'll be sure to update you guys on that as well. Hardcover versions are going to be shipped to Kickstarter backers within the next couple weeks. So that's something exciting to look out for. So yeah, this book was illustrated by a wonderful girl named Christy Schneemann. And if I can briefly talk about Christy, this is a good example of advice for other writers out there on networking, building relationships, and things like that. So Christy, I met her on an airplane. I was flying from, I want to say, Chicago to Philly, and she was on this plane, like in the aisle across from me, and I was on the plane just talking to my family about something I was writing, and she said, "Oh, hey, are you a writer?" And I said, "Yeah," and she said, "Well, I'm an illustrator, we should connect." And from our starting to talk on the plane, and we exchanged business cards, we got each other's websites, that kind of thing. And then I took a look at her art online, and I thought it was really, really cute. So I reached out to her when I was in the process of interviewing illustrators for these books. So that's just a story that should show an example to other writers of whenever you're in a position to meet new people or talk to new people, always take that opportunity because you never know where you're going to meet someone new or who that person will be, or what kind of great business relationship you'll create with each other. So she did a fabulous job illustrating Chewy. I'm so pleased with this, and if we had never, taken the initiative to talk to each other on the plane and to step outside our comfort zones and meet someone new, this never would have happened. So I think that's a super awesome example of why it's important to network 24/7. Great. So those are the two first books in the Furever Home Friends series. We will be having more books coming out in the series later on, which I will definitely keep everyone updated about and announce. If you want more information about the Furever Home Friends, you can visit our website, fureverhomefriends.com. That's forever spelled with a U because dogs have fur, so I was making a pun. Other than that, you can follow us. We have a Facebook page as well, and I post regular links to it on my Twitter. And on my blog, I have regular posts where I post pup dates because they're updates about puppies, right? I love puns, guys. So those are some places you can follow us and learn more information about what we're doing and where we're going and all of that. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Be on the lookout for one of Cisse's new videos coming out in a couple of days. I should have another video for you guys ready next week as well. If you're enjoying our videos, please do subscribe to our channel because on every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we put out new videos with awesome stuff about writing tips and book reviews and how to do job interviews and how to dress for things, which I don't know. Cisse knows how to dress for things, so don't take my advice on that ever. But yeah, so those are some great videos we have for you guys. Please subscribe to our channel. I hope you enjoyed this. Happy reading, everybody!